Monday, May 1st, 2000. Surfing the web without a computer. A look at the latest techno trend tool. And now you can get up-to-the-minute stock quotes, weather forecasts, and other news from your cell phone. We'll show you how.
First Business, America's news and information leader. Now, here's Trish McShane.
Good morning from Washington. Barton Eckert is off today. A merger of two of the world's largest advertising companies appears close to reality this morning. New York-based Young and Rubicam has reportedly agreed on a merger of equals with France's advertising giant Publicis. The deal comes just days after similar merger talks with Britain's WPP group collapsed. The union of Publicis and Young and Rubicam would create a global powerhouse in the advertising world. Publicis is the 10th largest advertising company in the world. Young and Rubicam is ranked 7th. The deal would reportedly be worth about $6 billion. On Asian markets overnight, stocks up sharply as investors snapped up core technology shares on better-than-expected earnings reports. In Japan, the Nikkei up 429.38 points, closing at 18,403.08. The dollar was trading up nearly 1.5 yen from late Friday. Other Asian markets are closed in observance of Labor Day holiday. Indonesia and Australia both down. Among other top stories this morning, violent weather hits Texas and Oklahoma, a huge demonstration in the nation's capital, and there's trouble brewing in Hollywood. Here's All News Channel's Liz Brummond. Good morning, Liz.
Good morning, Trish. Good morning, everyone. Parts of West Texas are in ruins this morning after several tornadoes roared through the state. At least 4 tornadoes touched down yesterday in and around Albert, destroying mobile homes, businesses, and a cotton gin. The storms also dropped golf ball to tennis ball-sized hail. In Oklahoma, the same storm front brought heavy rains to the southwestern and central parts of the state. No word on any deaths. Hundreds of thousands of gay rights supporters gather on the National Mall in Washington. In a massive demonstration yesterday, they walked past the Washington Monument carrying flags and signs that said, "Stop Hate Crimes." Organizers of the march hope it will energize gays, lesbians, and bisexuals into voting in this year's presidential election.
I challenge you all to take what has been given to you through sweat and through tears, and to make something of it.
It is the 4th gathering on the mall by gay and lesbian rights groups in the last 21 years. 135,000 actors who star in television and radio commercials may be walking the picket line today. Contract talks have broken down between advertisers and the Screen Actors Guild and the Federation of Television and Radio Artists. The sticking point is over the advertisers' desire to scrap a system that pays actors each time a commercial airs on national TV and go to a flat rate system. Advertisers have been stockpiling commercials and will use non-union talent to produce new ads during the dispute. And that's a look at national headlines. I'm Liz Brummond for First Business. Trish.
Thanks, Liz. With most of the major corporate earnings reports on the table, investors here in the U.S. will be focusing on this week's economic data for a clue to the nation's financial well-being. A busy week kicks off this morning with the release of the construction spending numbers for March and the Purchasing Management Index. Tomorrow, leading economic indicators and new home sales for March, both are expected to be higher. Wednesday, March factory orders and the Federal Reserve's Beige Book survey are released. First quarter productivity numbers are unveiled on Thursday, and Friday, the all-important April jobs report and consumer credit for March. Checking your national forecast this morning now, turbulent weather across much of the country. With details, here's First Business correspondent Archie Kelly.
That severe weather that slammed Texas will move north and east through Monday, producing more severe weather through Arkansas and Missouri. And another storm system moving through the Great Lakes means rain through the northeast on Monday. Highs today, a lot of 60s and 70s across the nation, and even some 80s in parts of Montana, but still down in the 50s in the northeast. More 80s across the south, with some 90s in the desert southwest. Archie Kelly, First Business.
Coming up on First Business this morning, if you just don't have the time to take college courses after work, now you can earn your degree online. Details just ahead.
This portion of First Business is brought to you by Conoco. Think big, move fast. Conoco.
One energy company had the idea to change their entire fleet of global tankers to safer ones with double hulls, committing to it before anyone else and finishing 16 years ahead of the industry's deadline. Conoco. Think big, move fast.
Tom and Audrey Darcy just bought 21 acres, on which they planned to build their dream house. But if they had professional advice, they may have invested differently, and they'd break ground a lot sooner.
See how advice and timely research can help you reach your goals. Call Solomon Smith Barney at 1-800-EARNS-IT, extension 311, and get your free special report, Top Picks 2000. You'll find the top stock picks of our award-winning research analysts in over 90 industries. Our outlook on the economy and interest rates. Which stocks we believe will offer the most earnings growth potential in 2000, and which will benefit from developing trends. See how to be a better investor in the new millennium. Call 1-800-EARNS-IT, extension 311, for your special report today. See how we earn it. Solomon Smith Barney.
A new month begins on Wall Street with nervous investors waiting to see how the market will react this morning following the government's recommendation to seek a breakup of Microsoft. The Dow Jones Industrials ended last week with a 154-point drop, while the Nasdaq closed out its worst month since August of 1998 with an 86-point gain. The 30-year Treasury bond is yielding 5.96% this morning. The NYSE Composite Index closed off almost 1% on volume of 984.5 million shares. On the move, MP3.com plunged 40% after a federal judge ruled that the company which distributes music free over the internet is infringing on record company copyrights. Yahoo, a winner on reports that the web search directory attracted more new visitors to its site over the past year than any other company. AT&T Wireless edging down in its second day of trading. The stock debuted as the largest IPO in Wall Street's history on Thursday. Walt Disney, one of the few bright spots on the Dow, gaining after Merrill Lynch upped its rating on the stock to a long-term buy. And reports that the Federal Drug Administration is concerned about cardiac problems related to Merck's pain-killing drug Viax sent the drug maker's stock down $2. And with more on Microsoft's legal problems and the market's latest worries over inflation, here's correspondent Leslie Dodson of Reuters Financial Television in New York.
It was a market divided on Wall Street. Money flowed out of the blue chips amid continuing fears of inflation, the Dow falling 154 points. But investors loaded up on technology stocks, giving the Nasdaq an 86-point lift heading into the weekend. The fate of Microsoft loomed heavily over the markets on Friday. After the close, the Justice Department, as expected, formally asked a federal judge to break up Microsoft into two companies, one making operating systems and the other handling software applications.
The result will be an exciting and innovative set of new products with more choices and lower prices for America's consumers.
Microsoft has said it will appeal any such decision. Ahead of the news, Microsoft ended off a fraction on the day. Starbucks got beamed, a big loser, with the stock falling nearly 20% in the session. Starbucks posted earnings in line with expectations, but apparently that was not good enough for investors, who sent Starbucks sliding nearly $7 to end at $30. On the upside, chip makers were sent soaring on an industry report saying the internet will power a 10-year expansion for semiconductors. Intel rose 1.5, Texas Instruments climbed 3, and PMC Sierra bolted 9.25. And financier George Soros is overhauling the world's largest hedge fund after suffering steep losses in technology stocks. Soros says his flagship quantum fund will be relaunched, and 2 top managers are leaving the fund after it lost 20% in the first 3 months of this year. Checking the final numbers, the Dow ended the week with a 1.5% loss to close at 10,733. The S&P also sliding 12 on the day, but the NASDAQ escaped selling, jumping 2% to end the week at 3860. And that's the Reuters market report from the New York Stock Exchange. I'm Leslie Dodson.
In Mexico City, investors dumped shares of heavyweight stock Teléfonos de Mexico, sending the Bolsa tumbling almost 3% by Friday's close. The Bolsa fell 204 points to 66.40, while the peso held steady at 9.4 to the dollar. The Bolsa ended April with a loss of just over 11%. The markets and exchanges in the United Kingdom are closed today for the May bank holiday. Investors celebrated on Friday, sending the FTSE 100 up 148 points, closing near its high for the day. 46-year-old Jill Barad, the former CEO of Mattel, has received a severance package worth nearly $50 million. Barad stepped down in February after the toy company reported a steep fourth-quarter loss. As part of the package, she was given more than $26 million in cash. Mattel also agreed to waive the balance of more than $7 million in loans. Barad will also receive more than $700,000 a year for life in retirement benefits. Mattel declined to comment. Direct to the Net, the latest portable gadget that guides you online. And once you're online, improve your mind. First Business correspondent David G. has all the latest in this morning's Business Briefs.
Pressed for time? After a long workday, it's hard to even think about things you should be doing, like maybe expanding your education. Well, Cleveland State University may have the answer. It's an online degree. The courses allow people who are pressed for time or living far away to finish their college education at home.
It would be a combination of courses from a number of institutions, but eventually leading to a bachelor's degree.
Don't think about cheating your way to an online degree. The college does require students to bring a photo ID and take tests at a prearranged location like a local library. Forget later, print it now with the new Sony Personal Photo Lab. You can print real photos digitally right in your own home. The stylish little printer kicks out 4x6 photos that look and feel like they came from the photo lab. On top of it all, you can edit until the picture is just right for you. The price, about $400. Getting on the internet without a computer is one of the hottest trends of the new millennium. Picture yourself accessing the web with a device that's about as big as an Etch-a-Sketch, not to mention lightweight and portable as well. It's got a touch-screen menu, quick startup, and a sleek design. Plug this gadget in, and with the touch of a button, you're surfing the net. Ride the wave of the future for just under $200. David G., First Business.
Still ahead on First Business, looking for some venture capital to set up a small business? Now you can get it with the click of a mouse. Details coming up.